Hello and welcome to this episode of Take a Look At. Due to time constraints, this episode will be slightly different. No Top Gear style intro, just me waffling about tanks for about 10 minutes. Today we will be looking at the FV4005. Due to the Soviet Union fielding heavier and heavier tanks, the British War Office filed for the development of a gun that could defeat 6-inch thick 60-degree sloped plates at 2,000 yards. The requirement led to the development of the QF 183mm L4 gun, which was to be mounted on a new heavy gun tank. A project was also launched to see if the gun could be mounted on existing hull to put it into use ASAP, just in case the Cold War went hot. The initial project, named FV4005, was to be mounted with the 183mm gun on a Conqueror hull with a turret mounted to the rear of the tank due to the size and power of the gun. The development of the tank would take a while to produce, so in 1950 the War Office filed for a stopgap vehicle to be produced in case hostilities started. This is where the FV4005 comes in. Based on a Centurion hull, the tank went through two stages. Stage 1 was to test the gun and the mount, while Stage 2 was the final design, designated Heavy Tank Self-Propelled No. 1. The gun itself, designated QF 183mm L4 gun, was fully rifled with a fume extractor halfway up the barrel and weighing 3.7 tons. HESH, high explosive squash head, was the only ammunition to be produced for the gun, loaded in two parts consisting of a 27-inch long powder bag and a shell 30-inch long, meaning altogether the ammunition was 56-inch long and weighed over 100 kilograms. When fired, the HESH shell would leave the barrel at 2,350 feet per second. The main advantage of HESH shells is that its effectiveness doesn't decrease with distance. On detonation, it creates a shock wave which, when it reaches a void, is reflected back, crossing over itself, causing armour plates to rip apart and cause shrapnel to scatter around the interior, turning recruitment into soup. Despite the success of the programme, the feared IS-3 were never produced in large numbers, indicating a shift in Soviet doctrine to lighter, faster tanks. Other technologies, including the appearance of next-gen anti-tank guided missiles, was also the last nail in the vehicle's coffin. Officially cancelled in 1957, the three constructed prototypes were divided out, one being turned back into a Centurion and the other two given to a Royal Military College of Science. Somewhere along the lines, the Tank Museum in Bovington got its hands on one of the turrets, which it sat on a spare Centurion hull, because we all have a spare Centurion laying about. Up until this year, it sat as a gate guard, until the game developer War Gaming donated £20,000 to the Tank Museum to restore the tank to working order. Thanks to further fundraising efforts, enough was raised to start the restoration process. A.W. Hughes Workshop in Leicestershire began the restoration in the last few months. Links to both the Bovington fundraising page if you feel like donating towards the project, and the workshop's vlogs are down below if you want to keep track on how they are doing. Next, some footage of the FV4005 in action. Show you just how powerful that gun is. Why I call it the nope cannon and the yeetus deletus. Keep your HE, this thing will delete everything. So first of all, we'll take a look at its armour layout. As we can see, it's got the body of a Centurion, though relatively armoured at the front, lightly armoured, very lightly armoured at the sides, with an internal plate thickness of 115mm. This pretty much won't be able to take a shot off another main battle tank, and its light armour on top won't even stop machine gun fire. It's splash resistant, that's about it. The most difficult part of it, added on top of its thin armour, is being able to hide the thing. This thing is huge. I can't measure it from here. Yeah, I can't measure it from here, but it's obviously the height of the tank plus the height of the tank again. I think it's like the size of a Ratel 90, which is really saying something. So your best bet with this is not to get it shot. Though, if we now look at the X-ray, it does have a crew of 5, so you can stand to lose 3 crewmen, giving you a bit more resistance. You have your driver at the front, hid behind the front armour plate and sectioned off from nothing. And then inside the main turret, you have a main gun, which is huge. You have a loader, a gunner, and commander. And a bit further back you have the engine, which is exactly the same as the Centurion 3. It's nothing to write home about. It's a pretty slow tank. Now this is where we get. This is where it gets good. This gun and this ammunition will kill just about anything in the game. Let's do a test. Something nice and heavily armed. USSR. Let's test it against what it was designed to fight against. The IS-3. Protection analysis. Rank 4. Clyde Pleasing. And the FV4005. Here we go. One shell, 500 meters. It will pen in front of an IF-3. Okay. It will also kill the driver. Get a good shot in there. Dead. Same shell. Other side. Dead. From the side. Dead. You get what I'm saying. This thing will delete anything. I've even had it. If you bear with me a second. If we go to Germany. Tiger 2P, Tiger 2H, whatever. Protection analysis. Great Britain. FV4005. And dump. It's crippled it. If you hit it on these flat plates here, you do some serious damage. Slap it there. And then of course if you slap it where you're supposed to slap a King Tiger, it's done. Underneath. See, maybe not as impressive as I'm making it sound, but I have been deleting these things. There we go. Because the shell fires on an arch trajectory, you're looking at hitting it on top plate, which will delete the thing. The shell in game is relatively slow moving, so your arch at a distance is going to arch to the target. It's not going to fly in a straight line, it's going to arch. And that's when you start getting your one-shot kills against these things. Dead. This thing is brutal. And is one of my favourite vehicles purely for that. The main downside, of course, of this vehicle is the reload time. 37 seconds. So your best tactic is to kill your target and then duck behind cover. You can't stand there trading blows, you will die. Okay, now on to some actual War Thunder gameplay footage I took earlier.